Hello, hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of the Worthiness Codes Podcast. I'm your host, Jaclyn Francis, and as always, it's so beautiful to be in this space with you today. We are going to jump right into today's episode, and I want you to go ahead and grab a pen and paper, your laptop, your notes app, because you're going to want to take notes on this one, especially if you're doing the inner work. This is a technique that was shared with me in my recent medicine ceremony on how to transmute energy and the process of alchemy. And it was so powerful, it was so beautiful, and it just makes so much sense. So I'm going to share it with you, explain it in the way that it was explained to me, making it really easy to understand so you can do this on your own. So, to start, when we typically think of energy healing, we usually think about releasing something that is not serving us, right? So taking energy, dense energy blocks out of our body. The most important thing with doing that is that you always replace what was released with something else. You need to replace it so something else doesn't come in. And I learned this the hard way. This was back in, I don't know, February, I think. Yeah, it was February. And I released something really deeply rooted in my root chakra, really, really deeply rooted. This was like other lifetime, also ancestral. It was a big ceremony with myself. And I didn't spend enough time replacing the energy that was released. And what happened was something else came in, and we can look at this as an entity. When we say entities, those you can look at it as a few different ways. It's lower vibrational aspects of self that can come in and pretty much take over your being. Other ways to look at entities are spirits that don't belong to you. Something came in, it was an entity, it did not belong to me. It belonged, I think, somewhere within, different lifetime, ancestral, whatever. We don't need to label it. We don't need to fully understand it. I don't fully understand it, and it's probably better that way. But it attached to my nervous system, and I had a really difficult 2 months. And when I got to Bali, the energy was amplified. I had to call a shaman, and the shaman helped me remove it. And she reflected back to me it was because I didn't replace the energy that was taken out with enough light, essentially. So reflecting that to you, in case you practice energy work, always, 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 always replace your energy. But what I'm sharing with you today is this process of alchemy. And the reason why it is so powerful, and I suggest doing this over releasing energy and replacing it with light, is because essentially what you are doing is when you look at energy, trauma, limiting beliefs, whatever it is, the energy holds a lot of layers to it. The energy is also very dense. That's why it's considered a block, because it is preventing you from getting to the next state of being. It's preventing you from receiving. It's preventing you from vibrating at a higher version of self. It's preventing you from doing something because the energy is dense. So when you can take that energy, that density, and turn it into something else, that's exactly what alchemy is. You're turning one substance into something else, hot water into tea, as an example. When it comes to alchemy and transmuting energy, you are taking one energy and turning it into another. So when you take an energy that has many layers and is very dense, you are not replacing it. Releasing it and then looking at the space within you and replacing it with light. Instead, you're taking the density and all of the layers it holds and all of the density it holds and the power that that density had over you, the power that that energy had within you, transmuting it into something that is actually going to serve you. So that is powerful, right? So the way that this came through and the way I moved through it in my medicine ceremony was so beautiful. And it's something that you can do on your own, and I would highly suggest doing it. So here it is. Okay. I'm trying to remember what I was moving through. I was clearing something in the left side of my throat. I can't remember the first part of it. This happens a lot if I'm in ceremony or I'm in like a really deep channeling state. I don't remember a lot. That's a whole other thing. But the thing I do remember, I was literally moving through all old versions of self, knowing that it was time to finally put them to rest. It was literally like having a funeral. And what was happening was I was pulling out all of those old versions of self from the left side of my neck. And they were being presented to me as these dense black blocks, essentially, that were stacked one on the other above my body, just within my field. And what I was told was because energy doesn't hold gravity, there's no such thing as, time, space when it comes to energy. I am seeing it being shown in my field, right? And so just visualize this, walk this journey with me. One block and above the other, all the layers, these old versions of self hold. So instead of looking at those blocks and releasing it and then looking at like my throat and just allowing light to trickle within there, I was shown that now it's time to pour golden liquid into each of these blocks. And this golden liquid was filled with the frequency of wealth. So wealth frequency was being filled into each of these blocks to turn them from black, dense blocks that weren't serving me into high vibrational golden bricks filled with wealth. Now, pausing for a second. When I say wealth, this is important. Wealth doesn't just mean money, but when we talk about wealth, we typically associate it with money. We associate it with someone who has the highest form of money, who is never worried about money, is able to live a beautiful life, live through luxury, have nice things, go on the most exotic experiences, and really just experience world as a wealthy human being. That's how we typically view wealth as a human. But what wealth is, and yes, that is an aspect of wealth. Money is an aspect of wealth. Wealth, to me, and this is what I understand it as, wealth is the highest form of aspects that live within the 5D that we can embody. So think joy, gratitude, abundance, love, beauty, honor, etc., etc. It's embodying all those aspects as the highest form as they exist. That is wealth, right? When you are so fulfilled and you wake up every day feeling beautiful, feeling grateful, sharing love, moving through life in the lens of just excitement and joy and all of these amazing things, you're holding that wealth frequency. So all of that energy was being filled into these bricks, these golden bricks. And then when it was time to put that back into my body, basically what happened was I envisioned those bricks turning into light, golden light. So as those bricks came back into my body, the brick essentially like hit my physical body and just turned into light. So that was the process of transmuting that was shared with me. It was taking a very dense energy and all of the layers that it held, looking at it as this black block, this black dense brick, pouring this golden liquid frequency aligned to wealth into this brick to turn it into a golden brick, and allowing that golden brick to then turn into golden light as it went back into my body. So yes, it's similar to releasing energy and then replacing it with light. The difference here is you are consciously transmuting something. You are consciously looking at the layers, looking at the density, and turning all of what it is, all of the energy that it holds, into something else. So it's powerful. And this also shared with me is that this was how it was done in olden times, ancient times, though every timeline is playing out simultaneously in the quantum field. So ancient times are still very much at play right now. That's a whole other thing. But this was how surgeries were done back in ancient times. This is how energy workers, this is how medicine women, this is how goddesses and the divine feminine helped heal people, was through this process. So it's powerful, really simple technique. I suggest you try it the next time you sit with yourself and see how it feels for you. But again, the reason why you're replacing it with wealth is because wealth holds the highest vibration of all of these beautiful aspects. That is what it means to be wealthy. Being wealthy doesn't just mean you are rich. Being wealthy means you are rich in so many other ways and you are embodying that. So that state of being is reflected back to you in your reality. So when you can transmute energy that is not serving you into something that is holding the frequency of wealth, just feel how powerful your being becomes. And I will tell you something. This was a small medicine ceremony. I didn't sit with a lot of medicine. It was really short, 2 hours long. I mean, it wasn't long. The integration from this ceremony was difficult. It was long. I was exhausted. And I just knew my physical body had to catch up to this process of transmuting energy. So it's powerful. I went through it myself. You don't need to sit with medicine to do this. Like, I'm not suggesting you do that by any means. You can do it. And you can even do it if like a thought is coming into your head, like an old narrative or just a narrative that's on repeat or a limiting belief that's on repeat, right? If that's coming into your head, literally picture yourself taking the thought out of your head, envisioning it as this dense black block, and transmute that shit into this beautiful golden brick of liquid wealth and move it back into your field as golden light. Really simple, really beautiful, really easy. I hope that resonates. I hope it helps. Try it out. Let me know how it goes for you. Yeah, quick little episode. I thought it was just such a powerful reflection and I really wanted to share it with you guys. So I do have an ask of you. If you could kindly subscribe and like and leave a review, I think it's called, or a comment on my podcast, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it as I'm trying to grow and reach more people. So yeah, thank you. That would be a beautiful exchange. I am just so grateful that my voice resonates with you and you keep coming back every week, or if it's your first time here, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have also included my free guide to awaken self-trust within the notes section. It's still available. Yeah, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me there because my course is going to be up and running really soon. I am going to be launching a masterclass very soon as well. So lots of exciting stuff coming up that I will share on this podcast as well. So much love to you. And yeah, I love you. I love you. I love you. Until next time. Bye.